Welcome, guys, on quiz Patente B in English. I am Marvin, the teacher. Join the class and get your Patente B. Our teachings is done individually with one student at a time so that you can write your exams quickly in a matter of few months, like 2 months tops, because we do individual teachings. Okay, so we are waiting for 2 to 3 minutes more, then we are starting the quiz. Good evening, Mr. Granco. Good evening. So exactly 1 minute more and we are starting the exercise. Okay, guys, so we are going to start our quiz. So make sure you like the video and you subscribe. So this is the Esame Miniseriale number 16. Doing many Esame Miniseriale is not what is going to help you pass the exams. Let's make that thing clear. Because most of the people like doing more Esame Miniseriale. But if you ask good teachers and you ask the Italian driving schools, they will all tell you you must learn well the topics of Patente B. Without you knowing well the topics, doing all the Esame Ministeriale is still not a guarantee that you'll pass your exams. Okay, so now we are starting the quiz. Schedule number 16 in just 10 seconds. So invite a brother and a sister and share the video for 10 seconds. We are starting. Okay, so question number 1. Nelle autostrade e strade extraurbane è obbligatorio accendere i fari annabbajanti anche di giorno o in alternativa le luci di marcia diurne. So the number 1, the right answer, of course, it is vero. Well done, Agranco. It says on motorways and extra urban roads, it is mandatory to turn on the dim light also in the day or during the day, or alternatively the daytime when it is night, you should on also the anabayante. That's what the number one is saying. So the number one, like I said, it is vero, because you must on the dim light. Very good. Let's proceed with the number two. Well done, Mr. Ernest. Jimo, well done. Agranco, well done. Okay. So let's proceed with the question number two. It says, make sure you are joining us from the YouTube, because I see some people are trying to join on the private class. Okay. So number two, it says, il pannello integrativo in figura B si può trovare sotto il segnale di curva o doppia curva. So the number two, the right answer is, okay, Ernest says vero. Okay, Mr. Ernest. Okay, Ernest says 2 is vero. Wajdi also says 2 is vero. Jimo, okay, Agranco says is vero. I think Jimo Hamed says is false. So, okay. Okay, good. So the number two, the right answer, of course, it is vero. Why? It says the supplementary panel in the figure B can be found under the curve or a double curve sign. So it is vero. Why is the question vero? It is vero because, just as I've been telling you, tornante simply means the next curve. Tornante means the next curve. Okay, so that's why the number two, the right answer is vero. Very good. Make sure you like the video and study with Marvin, the teacher. Number three, il delineatore raffigurato è posto nelle curve strette e con mancanza di visibilità. So the three, what is the answer? Okay, Wajdi says 3 is vero. Agranco also says vero, well done. Amidu says vero, perfect. Ernest also says it is vero. Okay, excellent, excellent. Okay, so the number three, of course, the right answer, it is vero. It says this sign is placed in a tight curve and with poor visibility. Yes, it is vero. It is placed in a tight curve with poor visibility. So the three is absolutely vero. Excellent. Now, number four. So I think Mr. Wajdi want to join us here on the screen. So we are going to connect Mr. Wajdi to join us here on the screen. Okay, So we have Mr. Washdi here with us. Okay, so Mr. Washdi, good evening. You can unmute yourself to answer the question, okay? Okay. So when I finish reading Mr. Washdi, you give us your answer. Okay. Just as our brothers are also answering. Okay. Very good. So, number 4, it says, se un infortunato della strada ha una ferita sanguinante, non bisogna coprirla per facilitare l'arresto spontaneo del sangue. Mr. Wasdi, what do you say?
Falso.
Okay, Mr. Wasdi says false, and that is correct. He says if a road accident victim has a bleeding wound, it will it should not be covered to facilitate the spontaneous stopping of the bleeding. It is false because it must be covered. That's what the theory says, that it must be covered to avoid that wound to be infected, okay, or to be contaminated. So that's why the answer is false. So excellent. 5. La patente di categoria B1 abilita a condurre i quadricicli non leggeri con manubrio quad. So number 5, what is the answer, Mr.
Vero.
Was? Okay, okay. He say, Agranko says, what's the, how do you go up? Okay. Agranko, I told you. I
I did
told you,
not
you
know.
have to
Is it that they
register.
can't do it?
They can't do it because I've not sent them the link.
I see.
So, the number 5, the right answer is fair, of course. It says the B1 category license allows you to drive a non-light quadricycle with a handlebar quad. So the 5 is Vero because with the B1 you can drive quadricycle non-leggeri, so the bigger one. Okay, so the 5 is absolutely Vero. Excellent. Number 6. Le cinture di sicurezza devono essere utilizzate anche dai passeggeri dei sedili posteriori delle autovetture. So the 6, what is the answer?
Vero.
Okay, so the 6, the right answer is absolutely vero. Well done. Okay, it is vero because it says the seat belt must also be used by passengers that are seated at the back seat of the car. So the 6 is absolutely vero. Okay, so those that are also seated at the back seat must put on the seat belts. So the 6 is vero. Excellent. 7. Il segnale raffigurato preannuncia l'incrocio con una strada senza diritto di precedenza. And the right answer is,
Falso.
are you sure? Me,
Sorry,
I'm
it is
just asking.
vero. It
Me,
is
I'm just
vero.
asking
Sorry.
you. Don't be confused.
It
I'm
is
just asking.
vero. It is vero. Sorry,
Are you
vero.
sure?
Vero.
I'm just asking
Yes,
you.
it is vero. Vero. Senza diritto di precedenza. Because you are on the big road, so you have rights over the cars that are coming from your left and right. It is
Okay.
vero.
So the number
Yeah.
7, of course, the right answer is vero. Very good. He said this sign here announces the intersection with a road with no right of way. So it is vero, of course. So you come across other roads that do not have the right to go before you. So you are the one to go before them. So that's why the 7 is vero. Excellent. Number 8. La segnaletica in figura non consente il transito ai pedoni.
Falso.
Okay, well done, Amidu, Agrancos, Ernest. Well done, everyone. Okay. Okay, so you say the 8 is false, no? Okay, good. So
Yes,
the 8,
falso.
okay. So Agranco also says false, so Amidu also says false. So well done. So the 8, of course, the right answer is false. He says this sign does not allow pedestrians to pass. It is false because of what? It is a zebra crossing. So it is specifically for pedestrians to cross. So that's why the 8 is false. For those that are watching us, if you want to join the class and you need help with your Patente B, you can join our individual classes whereby the student will be taught individually in his own private class, not in group, individually, okay? So that you can learn fast. So the 8 is, of course, false. Very good. Let's proceed with the number 9. Il segnale raffigurato indica il ripristino della norma generale sulla precedenza. So the 9.
Vero.
Okay, so Wajdi says vero, and that is correct. It is vero. He said this sign indicate the reinstatement of the general rule of on priority. So it is vero. Why? Because this sign means end of the right of precedence. That's why the 9 is absolutely vero. Well done. Very good. Okay, Ernest says vero. Agranco says vero, and Amidu also says vero. Excellent. Good job. Good job. Very good. Okay, so let's proceed to the number 10. Su carreggiate a 2 corsie a doppio senso di marcia in prossimità di un dosso è consentito sorpassare nella SIA del veicolo che precede. So the 10, the answer is
Vero.
okay. Agranco says falso. Let's see who is going to get it right. For those that are watching, make sure you like the video and you study in the private class, individual teaching with Marvin, the teacher. Ernest also says 10 is false. Okay, so the 10, of course, the right. Okay, Amidu says vero. Very good. Okay, so the 10, the right answer is it is false. Now, why is the answer false? It says on a double direction on a double direction road near a hump, it is permitted to overtake in the what, in the lane that the vehicle precede us, in the lane of the vehicle that precede us. Okay, so the 10, the right answer is what? It is false. So why? Because on the lane or on the road whereby we have a dorsal mean there is a bumping. in front of you. You are not allowed to overtake when you get to a bumping. It is after you have overtaken the bumping, so at the descending of the bumping, which is thus so, that is when you are allowed to do overtaking. Another reason why you cannot do overtaking, it is because when you are getting to a bumping, which is a dorsal, the line that you see on your side is what? That line is continuous. Continuous line. So it does not allow you to do overtaking by entering into the other lane. That is why the 10, it is falso. Very good. Like I said, it is what it is. Agranko says, you are under tension. You are under tension. Yeah, it's normal.
Is he talking to me?
Yeah, he says you are under tension.
No, no, just that's how I am. He needs to understand that's how I am.
Yeah, it's normal. Allora, so now let's proceed to the number 11. Very good. 11. It says, non è consentito fermarsi per chiedere informazioni ai agenti del traffico quando ciò possa causare intralcio o rallentamento alla circolazione. So the answer is
Vero.
very good. It is vero. It says it is not permitted to stop to ask information from the traffic officer when this could cause obstruction or slowdown of the vehicles. So it is absolutely vero. It is not allowed if by doing so you are going to cause obstruction of the vehicles on the road. So 11 is vero. Well done. 12. Sulle strade extraurbane principali che abbiano particolari caratteristiche costruttive e di sicurezza è possibile che il limite massimo di velocità sia di 130 km orari. So the 12, what is the answer?
Fast.
Ok, was this says falso, Agranco says vero, Ernest says falso, Jimo says falso. Okay, very good. Amidu says falso. Okay, so the 12 is of course falso. He says on the main extra urban road, which have particular construction and safety features, it is possible that the maximum speed limit is 130 kilometers per hour. So the 12 is absolutely false. You know, this question here is being used for the autostrada con particolari caratteristiche. Okay, which speed instead of 130 will change to 150. Okay, that is for the strada, for the autostrada, that is the motorway. So for the extra urbana, it does not change to 130. So that's why the 12 is false. Very good. 13. Il segnale raffigurato indica il limite di velocità al di sotto del quale è vietato circolare. 13, the answer is
Fast.
Okay, let me do. Watch this says 13 is falso. Okay, NS says vero. Agranco says vero. Jimo says falso. Idemudia. Okoji says vero. Okay, now let me say this before I give the right answer here. The question says you have to focus on the meaning of the sign. What does the sign mean? So right now, Mr. Wajdi, I want you to tell me what is the meaning of this sign? Talk to me.
So let me explain what this sign is trying to talk about. Are you asking
Yeah.
me to explain what the sign is trying
Yeah,
to
yeah.
talk about?
Explain the sign. You're not the question, the sign.
Okay, so what the sign is talking about is that you are not allowed to go. If you want to go above 30, you can go above 30, but you must not go less than 30 kilometer. You can go above 30 kilometer, but you must not go less than 30 kilometer on that road. So that is what the
Okay.
sign is talking about.
Very good. What you said is perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Okoye says velocità minimo. Yes, Okoye, this is velocità minimo. Very good. So, what is the question also saying? The question says il segnale raffigurato indica il limite di velocità al di sotto del quale è vietato circolare. This one is Italian language. Oh. This one is not English, it's Italian language. So the question is saying exactly what you said. So the question says this sign indicate means you have to circulate, okay, not below the speed that is indicated. So that is why the 30, the answer is what? Vero. That's what the question is telling you. Okay. Is that clear, Mr. Wasdi? Okay, very good. Very good. Okay. Now let's proceed with the number 14. Well done to all those that are commenting also on the page. God bless you. 14. Avvicinandosi ad un passaggio a livello con luci rosse accese e semibarriera ancora alzata, si può passare velocemente se non si vede sopraggiungere il treno. So the 14, the right answer is
Fasten.
okay. So the right answer, of course, it is false. So well done. It says when approaching the crossing of the train line, with the red light on and the half barrier still up, you can pass quickly if you don't see the train coming. No, you cannot pass quickly. Okay, you have to wait. So far as you hear the sound, you have to still wait for the train to cross before you are allowed to go. So that's why the 14 is false. Well done, Namidu. Ernest, Foji, Agranco, excellent job. Very good. Number 15. Occorre verificare le spazzole del tergicristallo per sostituirle se sono consumate. And the 15 is
Vero.
okay, that is correct. Agranco also says vero. So the 15 is, of course, absolutely vero. It says you should check the windshield wiper blades and replace them if they are consumed. Okay, so the 15 is absolutely vero because in the process of time it gets consumed. Okay, so 15 is vero. Well done. 16 su strada sdrucciolevole. Now, this word here, that word, I want to ask a question. That word, strada sdrucciolevole, that word there, Mr. Washdi and everyone on YouTube, if you want to write for me the meaning of that word, sdrucciolevole, because that will determine the answer of this question. Yeah, Mr. Washdi, what's the meaning?
So first of all, the answer is falso, and the meaning of that structure level it means ice that is skidding.
Okay, so
I don't
what
know
is the
if I
meaning of sdrucciolevole still?
structure level it means skidding, like the ice
Slippery,
is yes,
slippery,
yes, it's slippery
very,
exactly. Thank you. Yeah,
slippery, very good. Okay, so that is correct. The number 16, the word sdrucciolevole means a slippery road. Okay, a slippery road. Now, the question says, su strada sdrucciolevole, per garantire le migliori condizioni di aderenza in frenata è opportuno premere a fondo il pedale del freno. So, of course, as you said, the answer is falso. Why? Because it says on a slippery road, to ensure the best grip conditions when braking, it is advisable to press the brake pedal fully down or with force. So it is false because when you press the brake pedal, the vehicle will slip because of the fact that you press the brake pedal with more force. So that's why the system is false. Okay, so whenever you are driving on a slippery road, do not press the brake suddenly or even too much. So system is false. Good. 17. I veicoli devono di norma circolare sulla parte destra della carreggiata ed in vicinanza del margine destro. And the 17, the right answer is?
vero.
Okay, well done, Ikoji. Okay, so 17, Ernest also says vero. Okay, so 17, we are going to hold on to the answer, vero. That is correct. It says vehicles must, as a rule, drive on the right side of the carriageway and close to the right edge. So it is vero. Okay, so whenever you are on a road driving, you have to stay as much as possible on the right side of the carreggiata. So 17 is vero. Well done. 18. Il segnale raffigurato impone di circolare il più vicino possibile al centro della strada. And the 18 is?
False.
Okay, so 18, the right answer is false, so correct. It says this sign requires you to drive as close as possible to the center, into the center of the road. It is false, so because we just read the question right now Okay, we just read, you see how the questions they are being constructed. We just read a question right now that said you have to drive as much as possible on the right side. And we said the answer was what? Vero. Here they are saying you have to circulate as much as possible. Where? In the center of the road. Why? Because it is a curve. Absolutely not. So you see, your sense of logic has to be well activated and clear when you are doing the quiz. If not, you may answer a question which is similar to this in the wrong, giving it the wrong answer, and giving something else, giving the right answer to another exercise. Okay, so the 18, the right answer is falso, because you don't have to stay as much as possible in the center. You have to stay rather as much as possible on the right side. So 18 is falso. Very good. 19. Il segnale raffigurato è posto di norma a 150 metri dal punto di inizio della curva. And the answer is
Vero.
very good. It is vero. Now, in case some of you are confused of why it is vero, let me give you a simple explanation here. All this sign is part of segnale di pericolo. All the segnali di pericolo are positioned at a distance, which is 150 meters distance. There are other moments or situations whereby they could be positioned at 200 meters or 350 meters, but normally they are all positioned at a distance of 150 meters distance. Why? Because it is segnale di pericolo. It is a danger. So they are letting you of the danger 150 meters ahead of you. Okay, so that's what the 19 is. Vero. Very good. Well done. 20. Collocare i bagagli sul tetto del veicolo comporta un maggior consumo di carburante. And I know that you know the answer.
Vero.
Very good. So the 20 also is vero. Excellent. It says placing luggage on the roof of the vehicle result in increased fuel consumption. Now the answer is vero. So in case somebody is confused here, is the fact that when you position your luggage on top or on the roof of your vehicle, and whilst the vehicle is moving, the wind, the aerodynamics tend to push backwards your vehicle. Okay, so that is why the number 20, the right answer is vero. Well done, Agranco, Ernest, and Amidu. You're doing a great job. Jimo, well done. Okay, for those who want to study with Marvin, the teacher, like I said, we do individual teachings at your own free time. So join the class with Marvin, the teacher, individually, because in the group, you will not understand anything, even if you stay there for 10 years. Okay, number 21. Secondo le norme di precedenza, nell'incrocio rappresentato in figura, il veicolo E deve attendere il transito del veicolo L. So the right answer is
Vero.
Agranco says vero. Okay, so 21 is absolutely vero. Very simple. It says placing luggage on the roof of the vehicle result in increased fuel consumption. Yes, it is vero. sorry, the 21. It says, according to this precedence at this intersection, the vehicle E must wait for the L to pass. So in this case, it is Vera because the L, the yellow car, has the right free. So the L will go first. The second will be the E, which is the green car. Then the autocar will pass, which is the N, the red car. Then the last one will be the Philobus, which is the blue. So that's why the 21 is absolutely vero. Well done. 22. Il segnale raffigurato vieta la fermata del veicolo tra le ore 17 e le ore 20. You cannot mistake this one.
It's falso.
Excellent. It is falso. It said this sign prohibits stopping the vehicle between 5 a.m., 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. So it is falso. Why? Because prohibition of stopping the vehicle is from where? Or prohibition of stopping the vehicle is not even part of this sign. Why? Because this sign is talking about what? Divieto di sosta. Okay? Divieto di sosta. So stopping is not among the prohibitions in this sign. So that's why the 22 is falso. Good job. 23. La distanza di sicurezza deve essere aumentata. Aumentata means increase, ok? Qualora sia difficile valutare il comportamento del conducente che precede. The answer is?
Vero.
Okay, so 23, excellent. It is vero. It says the safety distance must be increased if it is difficult to assess the behavior of the driver in front. It is vero because if you are not able, okay, to lead or to assess the behavior of the driver driving in front of you, it is better and for your own safety to increase the safety distance in case he begins to drive in the wrong way or suddenly press the brake. So that's why the 23 is vero. 24. Nell'incrocio rappresentato in figura, il veicolo S transita per ultimo.
Vero.
Okay, Agranco. Okay, Okoji says vero. Let me see. Amidu says vero. Well done. Okay, Agranco vero. NS vero. Jimo vero. Good. So 24. Okay, so 24 you are all saying is vero. Good. Now I want to ask a question. What if I say it is falso? What will you say, Mr. Wajdi? You are saying it's vero. Okay. Everybody else too in the comments saying center, they are all saying it is vero. So what if I say it is false? So am I right or I am wrong?
You are wrong.
Okay, now prove it. You have to prove it too. It's not like you say it and go and sleep. You have to prove it. So prove it.
Okay, so because first of all, the big car is the one going first because the
Why?
right is free. Because the right is free.
Uh-huh.
Then followed by the T, which also the right is free. Then S will have to go last. So that's exactly what the question is talking about. It says
Okay.
Nell'incrocio rappresentato in figura, il veicolo S transita per ultimo. Ultimo means last. So that is exactly what he's trying to tell us here.
So, guys, we have another teacher here. Okay, that is good. That is good. Exactly like that. So you must be able to defend your answer. This is very, very important. So it is correct. The answer is Vera because the S is the last vehicle to cross. Well done. Okay, let's proceed with the number 25. Il segnale raffigurato preannuncia che per gli autocarri è consigliato svoltare a destra. The answer is
Falso.
correct, falso. It says this sign indicates that it is recommended for trucks to turn to the right side. It is falso. Why? Now, I want to ask, well, everybody is saying false. So, why is it false? Is it not the arrow turning? The arrow is turning to the right. Am I right? The arrow is going to the right. So, you're saying it's false. So, I want to ask a question. There is one word in the question that makes the answer false. So, if you can point out that word, then you are the boss. Okay.
Conciliato.
Yeah. Okay, correct. Because of the word consigliato. Excellent. Because the sign blue is not a consiglio, it's not an advice. Consigliato means advice. So it is not an advice, but it is an obligation. It is an obligation. Well done, Brother Granco. It is an obligation. So that is why the 25 becomes false. So this question like this, if somebody does not learn well the topic, he will be challenging, saying a lot of things. But because you have learned, you know the difference between the words. That is the point here. So that's why the 25 is absolutely false. Excellent. Good job. Good job. Good job. You're learning well. 25. Il segnale raffigurato indica come lasciare in sosta i veicoli.
Falso.
Okay, so 26, of course, it is false. So it said this sign indicate how to leave vehicles parked. And it is false because it has nothing to do with parking. Okay, it's just showing us the condition of the road and which areas we will reach according to the directions that we will take. So that's why 26 is false. 27. L'assicurazione per la responsabilità civile auto RCA, obbligatoria per legge, comprende il risarcimento dei danni provocati dal veicolo, purché guidato dal proprietario. So 27 is absolutely
Falso.
excellent. It is falso. Well done for those that are also on the comment section. Agranco says falso, Amidu says falso, Ernest says falso. Good, good, good. Well done. So 27, of course. It is falso. It says the third party liability insurance required by law includes compensation for damages caused by vehicle provided that it is driven by the owner. It is false because irrespective of who is driving it, the damage must be compensated. Okay, so that's what the 27 is false. 28. Circolando dietro ad un veicolo che ha un carico instabile, è opportuno aumentare la distanza di sicurezza e sorpassarlo appena possibile. So 28 is
Vero.
a Granco also says vero. Well done. Good job. Good job. Okay, so 28, of course, it is vero. Why? It says when driving vehicle, when driving behind a vehicle that has an unstable load, it is advisable to increase the safety distance and overtake as soon as possible. So it is vero. You always have to keep a higher safety distance from a vehicle that has unstable load. Okay, so 28 is vero. Well done, everyone. 29. Il segnale raffigurato è un segnale di pericolo. And the answer is
False.
okay, so 29, of course. The right answer it is falso. Well done, Jimo. Jimo also says falso. One and only Agranco says falso. Ernest also says falso. So 29 is falso. Amidu also says falso. Well done. It is falso because it says this sign is a sign of danger. It is not a sign of danger. It is a sign of prohibition, which means motorbikes are not allowed to transit on this road. That is why 29 is falso. Good job, everyone. The last question, 30. La banchina non consente di norma il transito ai veicoli. This is a trickish question, so be careful. So what's the answer of the number 30?
Vero.
Well done, correct. Granco also says vero. Ernest also says vero. Amidu also says vero. Okoji also says vero. Well done. So the right answer is, of course, it is vero. Why? It says the banchina, which is outside of the carreggiata, is does not normally or is not normally allowed for vehicles to transit there. So it is vero because la banchina is outside of the carreggiata, okay? And the carreggiata is used purposely for the circulation of vehicles. Meanwhile, the banchina is not, okay? So that's why the 30 is vero. So we are going to end our studies here tonight. Like I said, do not forget what I told you. I said doing many Esame Miniseriale is good, but it's not as good as in learning perfectly every topic. God bless you. See you all probably when you are the next time that we meet in the group. Okay? Wasdi, well done. Ci vediamo tutti quanti.
All right. Ciao,
Ciao,
teacher. Thank you. All right. Good
ciao,
night,
ciao.
everyone. All right.
Good night.